Hi boys and girls, it's Mrs. Zetterholm. If you are watching this video, it is because you are ready to complete your assignment for today. Now you should be watching this video in split screen, or maybe you printed this paper off, but you should have this in front of you so that you are completing it at the same time I am. The great thing about this assignment is that as long as you listen and follow along, you should receive pretty much full credit. So let's get started. Force. It says it at the very top of our graphic organizer. And then it says a blank or a blank that is measured in blank. So what is a force? We learned this unit that a force is a push or a pull. We should know that by now that a force is a push or a pull. Now this one might be new to you. But when we measure forces, we measure the pushes or pulls, we measure them in a unit called newtons. So just like we measure length in inches or centimeters, we measure the unit, or the unit we measure force with is newtons. So we will write that down, newtons. That's something that you're going to learn as you get older, but we really want you to know that a force is a push or a pull. Please make sure you have this top box done. We are now going to move on to balanced forces. If you're not done with the top box, go ahead and pause the video. Balanced forces. So this is a specific type of force, right? It's underneath the force. So in balanced forces are something in strength, but something in direction. So when we have balanced forces, we know that the forces are the same, right? So they're equal in strength. So if two people are tugging on a rope, right, they're pulling with the same strength in this situation with balanced forces. But when they're tugging on it, they're pulling or applying their force in opposite directions. So we're going to write opposite on the line here. So balanced forces are equal in strength, meaning they're the same amount of force being applied with regards to strength, but they're going to be in opposite directions. And because they're equal in strength and opposite in direction, they do not change the motion of an object, meaning there's no movement. When there's balanced forces, there's no movement. So something as simple as a parked school bus. If the school bus isn't moving, it is a balanced force. The forces would be something like the force of the bus pushing down on the road, but also the force of the road pushing up on the bus are equal, but they're in opposite directions. One's pushing down, one's pushing up. And because they're equal, they do not change the motion of the object, meaning the bus or the road are not moving. So let's look at the example below. It says, here, you can see a picture of two kids. It looks like they're arguing over a teddy bear. The boy is pulling it and the girl is pulling it. They're pulling it with the same amount of force. You can see that the boy has 500 newtons worth of force and the girl has 600 newtons worth of force. The arrows are moving in opposite directions. So the forces are equal in strength but opposite in direction. So it says Liam and Maria are both pulling the bear with 500 newtons of force. What will happen to the motion of the bear? Why? If they're using equal strength in opposite direction, what do we know will happen? Look up at your bullet points above if you're not sure. You're going to type your answer in this box. Please pause the video until you have typed your answer. The bear will what? And then explain why. Pause the video until you have finished your answer. All right, if you are watching, it means that you have finished this answer about Liam and Maria. pulling on the bear. Please make sure you have finished that. Now we are going up to the unbalanced forces. This is a different type of force. So we know all forces are push or pull, but we've just focused on balanced forces. Now we're going to focus on unbalanced forces. So unbalanced forces are not equal in strength. That means that one force is going to be greater than the other. So if there were two kids and they were pulling on something, whoever had more strength would be the one who would get the object to move in their direction. So when there are unbalanced forces, meaning the forces are not equal to each other, it can cause a couple things. It can cause an object to speed up, fill that in, slow down, stop, or change direction. So unbalanced forces are not equal in strength, and they can cause an object to speed up, stop, slow down, or change direction. When that happens, the object will move in the direction that the greatest force is going. So if I'm playing tug of war with Mrs. Todd and I'm using more force than she is, then the rope, the flag in the middle is going to go towards me because I'm pulling with more force. Now if Mrs. Demand and Mrs. Rousseau and Miss Kendra all join on Mrs. Todd's team, and it's all four of them using their force against me, then they probably are going to pull with more force and the flag will move in their direction. Unbalanced forces will cause movements. So let's make sure that you have that box filled out. If you do not, please pause the video. If you do, let's move on to the bottom. The bottom has a picture of two groups of people playing tug of war. We'll put a little flag in the middle just for an example. You can see that the group on the left is pulling with a force of 500 newtons. You can see that the group on the right is pulling with a force of 400 newtons. It doesn't matter that there are 3 people and 3 people. It matters how much force they are pulling with, how much force is being applied. So you can see that Team A is pulling with 500, that's this side. Team B is pulling with 400. Which direction will the rope move? Why? You need to tell me, will the rope move towards Group A or Team A, or will the rope move towards Team B? And you need to tell me why. So you should have at least one sentence saying, the rope will move in the direction of Team fill in the blank, A or B, because, and then your reason why. Once you have done that and everything is filled out on your paper, then you may submit this to Schoology as your assignment. Good job today.